Welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I'm Danielle D, or Coach Danni D, and I help women to create luxury brands by creating processes and tightening their branding. This is where we talk about how to build your business in a way that allows you to work with ease and enjoy your life. My happy space is spending as much time as humanly possible in my pajamas. And I want to help others to find their happy space while still running profitable businesses. So get comfortable and let's dig in. Hello and welcome to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I am your host, Coach Danny D. Always here helping small business owners and women entrepreneurs to find that space where they are living their success stories. And those are those personal success stories that are not based off of artificial milestones or imposed milestones, but actually are based off of what matters to you most and based off of achieving those things, achieving success that is well rounded, that includes your professional and your personal life. So, that is what I'm here for. I am a work with ease coach and I help people, women specifically, to work with ease. And part of that is getting out of our own heads and our own ways, mindset, right? Um, Understanding where we're trying to go, understanding ourselves and our success paths. And a part of that is also working smarter, working with ease, and putting things in place to make things easier, not harder. So, today, what I wanted to talk to you about is being yourself, the importance of being yourself. I had two conversations this week that kind of shaped this particular topic. In one conversation, I was talking to a friend, and we were talking about working with consultants on your business or your brand. And sometimes you may resist some of the advice that you're giving, right? And it's, important to sit in that resistance and figure out if that resistance is because you're resisting change, or is that resistance because you're resisting the the advice because it's not a fit, right? Because somebody can be an expert in something, but they're not necessarily an expert in you. So it may not be a fit. So it's important to really sit with that, dissect that, try to figure out where that's coming from, because you don't want to um misname that, right? You don't want to not explore something for the wrong reason. The other conversation, just talking about things that I'm interested in and passionate about with a friend. And we were talking about just the power of social media and how, social media has, really had a negative impact on people in a lot of ways, especially in relation to imposter syndrome. So I have a capable, confident challenge that really speaks to imposter syndrome. And so we were talking about that and how sometimes you're seeing images, or you're seeing what I believe is people's highlight reel on social media, and you're comparing that highlight reel to your actual life. So you are, comparing something that is curated to your actual real complex life. And of course, it's not going to match up. And sometimes even the stuff that's shown on social media is not even real. It's like curated to the extent that it is like actually fake, like, fake house, fake, car, fake everything, right? to create a particular image. The other, I guess, downside that I see, and I see positives of social media. This is not an anti-social media thing. Um, but the other downside is because we're constantly bombarded with, content and images and everything, we start to feel like we have to emulate those images. And you start to scroll and you start to basically just see the same ideas, the same concepts, the same, looks over and over and over and over again because everybody is starting to assimilate. Everybody is starting to, feel like this is what, beauty looks like. This is what success looks like. This is what, fill in the blank looks like. And I want to be that thing. And so then I want to be just like this person. And I don't know if you've seen it. I know I've experienced where, I open something and, because it even happens with celebrities, there's an image and it pops up and it's like a caption. And I have to read all the way through the caption to figure out who am I looking at in this picture. Because even with celebrities, there's this, you know, merge towards this central look, sound, everything. So you're looking at a picture and it's like, oh, it is that her or is that that's so and so. That is where we are. We continue to try to fit in. I know all of my listeners are not believers, and if you're not, hey, that's fine. God created us uniquely different for a reason. We each carry our own talents. We each carry our own superpowers. If you follow me on YouTube, go to my speaker content. I did a talk about unlocking your superpowers. Watch that talk. Um, but we all carry a uniqueness, and that uniqueness is what attracts people to us. It is not looking the same. It is not um, saying the same things. It is not copying someone else's image. I've been seeing so much content recently around, um, you know, imitation not being a sign of flattery, people being very upset about people trying to imitate them. Um, my thoughts on that is, my coach would say, you could copy, but the pace won't be the same. You can't you can't be better at being someone than they are. Like you can't. But you could be the best you all day long. There is no one who can better be you. And there are people who are looking for you. When I was talking to my friend about um resisting the advice, right? Because it didn't feel like it was her. It didn't feel authentic. I shared a similar experience where I had someone give me some advice and I was just like, no, that's not me. That is not me. Um, one part of that is you got to know who you are. And a lot of us hide from that. A lot of us are afraid to explore who we are. And in this world of assimilation, sometimes realistically, we don't know who we are. And, you know, that sounds weird, like you should, who else would know, right? But honestly, we don't always know who we are. We don't know who our, brand is either because we've just been copying. We've been trying to fit in. We've tried to fit in for so long, we've lost the identity of who we actually are. And, I talked about the capable confident challenge. That's a part of it is getting back to who are you? Who are you really? Sometimes, we kind of group think, well, my friends like this, so I like this. Maybe you don't like it, right? Like, there's some things that I'm like, I will do that with my friend because they like it. But if I wasn't with them, I would never choose to do that thing. So, who are you? What makes you special? What are the things that people are attracted to about you? And not the physical things, like that's surface. What are the things that people really enjoy about you? What are the things that make you interesting to other people? And sometimes we're not really good at seeing that. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we think, why would anybody be interested in hanging with me? Why would anybody be interested in getting to know me better? Why would anybody choose me, right? Now um that's a self-doubt, imposter syndrome type of thought, right? Why would anybody choose me? And there are millions of reasons why somebody would choose you. People are choosing you on a regular basis. Um People are choosing to be your friend. People are choosing to um, associate with your business. People are choosing to be in your sphere, in your world, in your circle. Maybe ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask the question. What do you like about me? What makes you choose me? Ask a few people the question. What are my best qualities? Start to uncover what makes you you. What is that secret superpower of yours that, you know, everybody is in awe of? You have a great ability to fill in the blank. Um, you know, different people is different things that stand out, and that might not be a trait that your friend has, and because you do that, they may think that that's amazing. Um I have a friend that is just, dynamic, draws people in. That's her superpower. I have I know my sister-in-law is a listener. Um I always love how she has a connection with young people. Like, if we have a family function, she knows what's going on in all of the kids' lives. Like, she will connect so easily. She, like, she knows probably more about what's going on with my cousins than I do sometimes, because she's something charismatic about her in that way. That is a superpower. Like, there are so many ways that you can, um, just really ignite people, that, people admire a certain thing about you. I've had people say to me, I host this podcast. I never thought that that would be a thing that I would do. Um, but most times when um, I'm talking to a guest afterwards, they'll say, like, "Oh my God, you are so easy to talk to," or "You, you open me up in a way that I didn't expect," or, "I said the thing that I had no intention of sharing that." I did not really know that about I mean, I know people like to talk to me. They talk to me in the grocery store. But I never thought about that as a gift or a talent. I didn't know it existed until I started doing the podcast, right? Um, but that's something that I learned about myself that I really enjoy. What do you enjoy? What makes you happy? What makes you tick? What makes you um fun to be with? Like, I'm probably not the let's go to the club friend. Like, don't I mean, I can have a good time at the club, but that ain't my thing. That's not like I'm the let's sit out on the patio and have a glass of wine and talk about life. I'm that friend. What makes you tick? What makes you happy? What makes you you? And then once you figure out what makes you you, be you. Always choose to be you. Be authentically you. And I know that that's going to be challenging in the beginning. And that I know that sounds crazy. Like, how is it challenging to be yourself? We've been taught so much to add layers and to put up these images of ourselves that sometimes being ourselves feels very open, feels very vulnerable, feels very naked, right? But what I've found as I've journeyed towards me and being true to me and fighting for me when I'm feel that I'm being told not to be me, right? What I have learned in that process is it's probably the most freeing thing in the world. It's probably the most freeing thing in the world because it's very hard to be what you're supposed to be, right? Because that takes thought and what if I say this and what if this happens and somebody may not like that and that takes a lot of thought. It takes a whole lot of thought. And I have anxiety that don't it's just a whole lot. It's a whole lot that goes into being what you're supposed to be or who you're supposed to be. And, let's say supposed to be in air quotes because it's not really who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be yourself. Be you. Be you. It is freeing because this is who I am. I don't have to think about it. And the reality is, not everybody is going to be drawn to you or gravitate towards you. That's fine. They're not for you. Like, why would you want to be around people who don't appreciate your authentic self? Why? To me, if I have to be different, then that means that I am not proud of who I am. If I have to change myself for others, then I'm not stepping in pride of who I am. That means, that feels like something is wrong with me. I've always said, excuse me, I've always said when I leave this earth, right? I hate when I go to a homegoing service and people get up there and they start talking about the person and you're sitting there like, who are they talking about? Like, who am I in the right room? Is this, so and so's funeral? Like, who are they talking about? Because people will all of a sudden saintize, a person because they're passing away, right? And if you can't talk about me in the fullness of who I am, then don't speak. I love when, I went to a homegoing recently. I lost a friend and her life was her testimony and they spoke to that. And what they spoke of was so beautiful and touching because it was her, it was who she truly was. Be you. There's nothing wrong with you. Now, I'm gonna give the caveat because some of y'all like to go far. That does not excuse bad behavior. That does not excuse, sometimes people don't want to deal with their stuff because they say that's just the way I am. That's not what I'm saying. Deal with your stuff. Deal with the broken parts. Deal with the jagged edges. Deal with that. But once and while you are dealing with that, be you. Be you. When you are you, you will find your people. You will find the people who love you. And it's not that those people aren't out there and they don't exist, but they can't find you because you have a disguise on. You don't look like you. You don't look like you, and so they can't find you. So learn how to be you. Be more authentic. Be more vulnerable. And I've said this before. I think vulnerability is strength because when you are willing to be open, there is that you can't be hurt from a point that you open. Now, if you're working through something and you are literally open, not literally, but if you are still in the process of working through something, if you are healing, work on that healing first. Don't just go out in the world and have people put all of the germs on you while you're still in recovery. But learn how to pull off those masks. Learn how to just be and be you and be great because we don't need 1,000, a million people who are all walking and talking and acting exactly the same. What's the point? We already got one of them. Just let that one be that one and you be the you. And again, you will attract the people that are meant for your unique combination. Yes, you're going to have stuff in common with somebody else. It's going to be somebody else that, you know, has the same sense of humor as you. There's going to be somebody else that um might, you know, look similar to you. Those things are going to happen, but you are all individually and uniquely made. Don't be playing with God and telling him he made a mistake. He did not. He made you to be you. And, I know several sets of twins. They got the same genetic makeup and DNA and everything. And they still two different people, two different personalities. Be you. Learn how to be you. Learn how to embrace you. Learn how to love you. And you will show up in a way that attracts everything that you deserve. That applies to you, that applies to your brand, um, the friends and family that you attract, the um, clients that you attract, the employees that you attract. All of that comes from being authentically you and knowing what that you looks like so that when something is a challenge to you, right? There's sometimes there are going to be challenges or better yet, growth opportunities, right? Sometimes there's a growth opportunity that may stretch you beyond your comfort zone. And those are great things because that just helps you to level up you, not to change you into something else, but to sharpen you, right? So those are growth opportunities. But sometimes there are things that are not a fit because it ain't you. And you knowing who you are, being confident in who you are, helps you to see that that's not a fit and that I am not going to alter myself in order to fit in. Every rule doesn't apply to everybody. So sometimes it's just not for you. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Um, Definitely look into the Capable Confident Challenge as an opportunity to explore more into your thoughts about yourself, those thoughts that may be keeping you from moving to your next level. You may be walking around here outwardly successful, doing a thing, but you know that there is further. You know that there is more, but there's something inside telling you you don't deserve it. There's something inside telling you that, to limit yourself. There's something inside telling you that you can't be you. So, if that's something, an area that you need to look into further, definitely look into the challenge. The link will be in the show notes. But regardless, let's start studying ourselves, figuring out who we are and who we aren't. Because there's some things that is just a hard pass. Like this is not that's not me. I'm not I don't care how popular it is. It's not me and I'm not doing it. And the hidden side effect is that when you are the most you, you will find your people. And there are people that love the things you love, and there are people that hate the things you hate. They are people, other people out there that appreciate you. And there are gonna be some people, like I said, you're gonna have friends have so many differences from you, but you still love them because there's some commonality that is there that connects you. But you can't connect with what is blocked. You can't make a connection with a mask. So take off the mask, be you, free yourself, and start to really enjoy life in the space of freedom. All right, y'all. Have a good week, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening to the Profits in Pajamas podcast. I hope you got some great tips to start working with ease. Want to stay connected? Follow me at Your Workflow on Instagram. For more information about building your luxury brand, register for my upcoming luxury brand workshop at CoachDanniD.com.